Take from New Jersey, it's the SNL Nerds, the show with two comics from New Jersey nerd out about Saturday Night Live. I'm your co-host, Darren Patterson.
And I'm your co-host, John Trumbull.
Hi, co-host John Trumbull. How are you?
I'm doing well, co-host Darren Patterson.
Very good. And hey, happy beginning of season 48 day to you.
Yay!
Yes. Hooray. Happy season 48 for all those who celebrate.
Yes. And welcome to any new listeners who might be sampling the podcast for the very first time. Do we have new listeners? I don't know. I'm an optimist, so I'm assuming yes, maybe. I don't know.
We could. Somebody could. Some new listeners might be starting in around episode 200 and are like, hey.
It is theoretically possible someone's listening to this podcast for the first time and we're not just broadcasting to an ever-diminishing group of diehards. But I don't know. I don't know.
That's the spirit.
Yeah. I mean, something could possibly be happening with us and the podcast.
Hey, man, anything is possible.
Yeah, I mean, just law of averages, or
yeah, absolutely. Hey, that's that positive can-do spirit we like to hear.
Exactly. That's this is the strong optimism I want to start out a new season of SNL with.
Oh man, well, I mean, before we start talking about the new season, I guess we gotta catch up on a little bit of SNL news.
There was a little bit of SNL news that dropped that we weren't able to cover last week because last week's episode, when we did Running Scared with Tommy Ray, we pre-recorded that. We banked that episode for like a few weeks ahead of time. So we weren't up to the minute on the SNL news last week, and we apologize for that.
Right. So sorry about that. But so in between now and then, when we dropped that episode, a little news happened. Chris Redd left the show.
Yeah, Chris Redd announced that he was leaving the show, which honestly, that's kind of a bummer for me, man.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. Like, I mean, when they announced that Melissa and Aristotle were leaving the show, I was like, all right, that's a bummer, but I get it. That makes sense. The writing was on the wall.
Exactly.
When Alex left, that kind of surprised me. I was like,
that was surprising, but good long run.
Yeah. Chris leaving shocked me. Like, I didn't see that coming at all.
Yeah, I listened back to our SNL in review thing, and you were like, oh yeah, my money's on nobody else leaving, or you picked somebody else, but like Chris wasn't even a possibility. And yeah, it feels like he wasn't done yet, but
no, absolutely,
it feels like he had more to give the show. And I mean, yeah, to be perfectly frank, I was expecting him to be able to step up and be the guy after Keenan left,
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, again, like he was there for 5 seasons, which is, I believe, the same amount of time Adam Sandler was there. So he was there for a good time, but it felt like he was just getting started. I mean, like he was in more and more sketches. Like every time you saw him, I think there was a couple episodes in last season where he was in a majority of the show. Like he was like a good all around like utility player. Like he could, pull it back, or he could like step it up and play it big. I mean, he had breakout roles with Eric Adams, the Will Smith sketch, Smokey Robinson, his Kanye West impression, and just him in general. He was always good for a laugh, just saying like one word or two. Like I know a lot of people like that game show sketch he was in where he just says pass. I believe it's the like why did you tweet that when it was talking about Instagram?
SNL doing that totally revolutionary thing where it's a game show sketch about how we use social media, and I mean, wow, such an original premise. I mean,
now we
can revisit that.
Yeah, we're never going to talk about that again.
Nope. Foreshadowing, people.
But yeah, like I really felt like he was gonna be on for long. Like I thought, like this year or this season would be like his big breakout, where people would just be talking about Chris Redd. And I also thought that too because I'm gonna get a little shout out to another podcast friend of ours, the SNL Network, Mr.
Hmm.
John Schneider, which I believe now they've rebranded it to called they call it Saturday Night Network now.
See, that's
And
confusing. That's
yeah,
just stick with the name.
yeah, it's
We're
like
trying to find.
branding.
Yeah.
SNL Nerd. That's all we're going by. Branding,
Although
baby, branding.
I will say that if the SNL Nerds Twitter handle ever opens up from that person who has literally never used it once, we are snapping that thing up and not looking back.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We're like as soon as that person's gone, we are moving in toot sweet. We're gentrifying that that Twitter handle
Exactly.
immediate luxury rentals right on that Twitter handle immediately.
All right, exactly. But enough about our social media bitterness.
Right.
This is about Chris Red.
Right. So on the SNL network now, Saturday Night Network, they actually John Schneider got to interview Chris Red for a few minutes on the podcast, and
Oh,
Chris
nice.
Red, yeah, it was a good interview. I highly recommend go listen to it.
This was post his departure.
No, no, pre. This was
Okay.
this summer. This was like
All right.
I think July or August. Summer. It
Hmm.
was this summer
I
definitely, and they
wonder
were
if he
talking.
knew he was leaving at that point.
He definitely wasn't because when he talked about SNL, he was like, "Yeah, I can't wait to get back onto the show. Got some new ideas for sketches. Can't wait to get back in, develop and write them, and do my thing." Like he was looking forward to getting back on the show. So to go
Huh.
from that, yeah, so to go from that to this, him leaving is like that's odd. Like, did something happen? That's like what
So
happened here?
he's either playing his cards really close to the vest, or yeah, it was an abrupt thing.
Yeah,
Huh.
I know people are saying it might have something to do with the I didn't tweet it out on our Twitter handle, but that whole sort of, I guess, gossipy thing about who Chris Red is dating now, maybe that had something to do with it, but like
Yeah, it's being reported that he's dating Kenan Thompson's ex-wife, which I
ooh,
haven't looked into that story beyond the headline. Um, I don't even. When did Kenan get divorced? First of all, I haven't even looked that up. Do we know
that
that?
might have been I feel like it was like a year ago.
Oh, okay, so recent.
It was fairly recently, yeah. So like
Okay,
I mean, I don't know if that had anything to do with it or something else, but it's a very abrupt and odd
yeah.
depart. I feel like there's more story there, but we probably either we'll never hear it or maybe we might hear about it like years from now after everything's been cooled
His
down.
ex-wife, Christina Evangeline, and it says in quotes here. I'm reading this on Us Magazine. She's the happiest she's ever been dating Chris
Oh,
Red. So
da-
they started dating the
damn.
beginning of this year. So, and they met before Chris started doing SNL and have been friends for years. Um, and now there's a stupid pop-up ad, and I can't really read more. Um, so
Okay. Oh,
I
all
don't
right.
know.
So,
Is
wow, I
Keenan
feel like
okay with this? Are they friendly? Or I mean, because maybe they have like a really evolved relationship where he's like, hey, you know who you should date? My friend Chris Red.
I guess
I mean,
so. All
that's
right. So,
possible, right? Or maybe there's bad blood. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, I mean, according to what I'm reading on in People magazine, yeah, they
Hmm.
filed for divorce back in June of this month.
Oh, that's really recent.
It's really recent.
Wait, but the thing I just read said Chris Red was dating her since the beginning of this year.
Oh, well, I mean, it says,
Oh.
yeah, Keenan Thompson files for divorce from estranged wife June 15th, 2022.
Uh huh.
Mmm.
That's quick.
Mmm.
That's wow. And they
Ooh,
were
hot.
co-stars on Keenan's sitcom.
Oh,
And wow. Okay.
Layla got me down on my knees.
I see a headline from 3 days ago. It says source claims Keenan Thompson had Chris Red fired from SNL over alleged affair with his wife. Oh, holy shit. Oh my
Ooh,
god.
it's getting spicy,
Oh,
y'all.
this isn't getting juicy.
Ooh, hot goss.
Red told people being part of SNL has been the experience of a lifetime. 5 years ago, I walked into 30 Rock knowing that this was an amazing opportunity for growth. Now, with friends who've become family and memories I will cherish forever, I am grateful to Lorne Michaels and to the entire SNL organization from the bottom of my heart. I can't thank you all enough. Um, while TMZ reported that Red and Evangeline were dating, a source close to the couple claimed that there was no bad blood between Thompson and Red.
Hmm.
They became official within the last year and that there was no cheating or overlap in the relationships.
Hmm.
They started dating after Keena and Christina's split. Romance is quite new. Well, yeah. In April 2021, Thompson and Evangeline called it quits after being married for 10 years. They've been separated for more than a year. And in June 2022, news emerged Thompson filed paperwork in May to end his marriage with Evangeline.
This is
Uh,
this is messy.
they have two daughters, 7 and 3. Oh,
Oh, this.
okay. Oh yeah, and at the tail end of this article, it reminds me of a thing that in Keenan's sitcom, Keenan was a widower.
Oh,
he, he did a sitcom about his life, and he made himself a widower. That's weird.
yeah.
Um,
Hey, honey. So I saw this new sitcom you're developing. I'm dead in it. Is this what's going on, Keenan?
yeah. Wow. Yeah. So surprising that relationship didn't work.
Oh, it's just fantasy, baby. It don't mean nothing.
Wow. Ooh.
Mm,
I don't know what to think there. That's you just heard me learning about all this in real time, basically, outside of the
yeah,
headline. Because I didn't know how recent it was. I didn't even know the name of Keenan's wife or ex-wife until
yeah.
now.
It's a whole lot of messy here happening.
Yeah, man. But okay, I'm bearing the lead here. Then and the lead for me is I am going to miss Chris Red on the show, and I'm sorry
Yes,
that he is leaving the show.
yeah. Like he had a few more years in him. I really wish. I mean, I wish him nothing but the best. I know he has like a project on HBO Max coming out, and I think he still has a good relationship with NBC Universal. So
Yeah,
he has some.
I
He
hope
has
so.
some. Yeah, he has some stuff coming out, but damn it, he was so good on SNL. Like it's
Yeah.
SNL. They took a hit when he left.
I
I'll
think
just
I
say
think
that.
my favorite things that he ever did on the show were they were both pre-tapes. He did one called "It's in the Game," where he was like a really really stupid criminal.
Yes, yes.
He did that with Mikey Day, giving great support, acting incredulous in that Mikey Day way, and also the Fresh Prince of Bel Air parody.
All right. Those
That
are
was genius.
those. Yeah.
Where Will is getting targeted by street toughs and things take a turn.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah, I mean, just Google SNL Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and I'm sure you'll find it. If you
Oh,
don't remember that, that was from when who was the host on that?
Harry Styles.
Was no, it was the actress, the red haired actress, the
Oh, you're talking
um,
about the Fresh Prince one. I was
Fresh
talking about
Prince.
the in the game.
Yeah, I didn't remember who was hosting on it's in the game. It's blanking on her name, the red haired actress who's not Ron Howard's daughter. Jessica
Oh,
Chastain. Jessica Chastain. That's it.
good, good. Yes,
Jessica Chastain, and yeah. So anyway,
great sketch.
that was a good one. Yeah. So hey, Chris Red, if you ever want to come on the podcast, feel free. John Schneider will put in a good word for us, I guess.
Yeah, we're cool. Just
Yeah, and we won't pester you about your personal life because honestly, that's none of our business. And to be totally real, we've reached the extent of how much we care about it. So
yes.
it's none
We're
of
all,
our business who you're dating or why you're dating or
that's right.
whatever. Yeah,
Care about your body of work, good sir.
exactly,
That's where the interest lies.
exactly. I'm so glad that sentence finished up with "of work."
We're in your body
We care
of
about your body, sir.
of work. Uh, so uh, so yeah. So now he left the show. So now SNL 8 cast members have left since the last season, which is
That's a lot.
it's a lot.
A lot.
But
So
then again, we've been saying the cast is too bloated. We need this. We need
Yeah.
a shakeup. So we're
And, well, hey, they've added 4, so
yeah,
really we've lost 4.
yeah. So yeah, so now we got this shakeup. We got a new show. We got a new vibe. We got a logo. We got a new opening. We got
A very bland logo, I gotta say.
yeah, yeah. What are your thoughts on the logo?
I am not impressed with the new SNL logo. It doesn't grab me. It's one of the blander logos they've had.
Yeah,
I'm seeing it on the show. I'm seeing it on the monitors at the beginning when the host walks out for the monologue, and I'm just like, nope, don't like that logo. Not good. Not yeah. There's no oomph to it.
yeah. No pizzazz.
Yeah, you need
No
you need a little razzmatazz.
little va va voom.
Yeah. So it just yeah. So new logo doesn't grab me. There's also new opening credits. Do we want to? Should we talk about that now, or should we go that in the show order?
Let's talk about the opening credits now, and then we'll go back to the cold open.
Okay, new opening credits. I just watched them for the first time a few minutes ago because I watched the show via YouTube this week. They're all right. They don't. I'm not in love with them. Maybe I'll love them more in the weeks to come.
Your voice got really high there. It's all right.
You know, it's they're fine. Yeah, I mean, it's their color. It's kind of funky when it's like with the newer people like James Austin Johnson, Andrew Dice Mukes, and Sarah Sherman.
Right,
It's weird to see like them doing a second opening credit sequence already because they've only got like a season under their belt. Um,
right. And they're still featured players. Not featured players. It's still
exactly.
right.
Which is a freaking crime with those two.
Yeah, I mean, there weren't a good amount of sketches. I mean, I think it's only a matter of time before they get bumped up to main players. But I think it's this
Yeah,
thing SNL does where like the first 2 years you have to be featuring, and then after
you're
the
serving like your SNL apprenticeship. Yeah,
exactly you have to it's your internship. Like
yeah,
once you get done with this, then you can be play with the big boys. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, as far as the new opening goes, I like it. Like you said, it's very colorful. I like the little slow mo moments in
Mhm.
between when they zoom in on each of the players. There's like a little bit of controversy I noticed online because Cecily Strong is not featured
There are
in
a lot
this.
of headlines that are like, "Is Cicely Strong quiet quitting?" And it's like, well, no, she's just missing the first few shows of the season because she's doing her play, "The Search for Signs of Intelligent Life in the Universe." She's doing that out in LA, so obviously she wasn't in New York City to shoot a new opening sequence. They'll add her in. Don't worry, she'll
Yeah,
be back.
yeah, I think that's what happened.
It's
Like
so cool, babies.
like she just wasn't in town to film her part, but like
Be cool, my babies.
it's
We're gonna get more Cicely. It's all good. It's all good.
I wasn't expecting pimp talk from you so early in the afternoon,
No,
John.
I was going more for Conan O'Brien, but okay.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like, "Hey, what up, baby? Ain't no thing but a chicken wing." I thought that's where you were going.
No, I do not have the self confidence to pull that off. Be real here,
Oh,
but thank you for thinking that.
it's like it's all right, baby. Johnny T's gonna get you your money.
You know you're my number one, bitch. Pimp
uh,
talk, pimp talk with John and Darren.
yeah,
That's our new spinoff podcast for the off weeks this season. We're doing something new. We're done with the SNL movies. We're gonna do pimp talk.
yeah. Frank, you hear that? We're doing a spinoff, pimp talk.
We're doing pimp talk because from what I hear, pimping not easy.
It's not. It's really not. Pimp talk. Johnny T and Big Daddy Darren, or something.
No, that's it. You've struck gold, my friend. Johnny T and Big Daddy Darren.
Yeah, we're either pimps or morning zoo DJs.
That's the beauty of it. It can work for both things. We
Versatile.
task. We'll be morning zoo DJs who pimp on the side.
That's right.
That's our new sitcom right there. That's our NBC sitcom, and we will write a supporting part for Chris Redd.
Morning Zoo DJs by day, pimps by night.
Pimps by night.
Wow, this got legs.
Morning Zoo nights.
What the hell were we talking about? What?
The new the new opening. I was reassuring people that Cecily Strong will be back before too long. I think she's coming. I think she's done with that run out in LA by the end of October, so she'll probably be back on the show in a month's time.
Right, and they'll film her parts. They'll just edit it into the opening, and that'll be
Yeah,
that.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And in the meantime, I like that Bowen Yang is representing, and he has a dog in the opening credits. It's nice that if Cecily Strong cannot be there with her dog Lucy, yes, I know the name of her dog,
Mhm.
that Bowen Yang could be there with a dog, his dog. I don't know. We'll do some research on that and get back to you.
He just stole a dog
Yeah,
off the
maybe he
street.
stole a dog. Maybe it's just some rando SNL groupie dog. I don't know.
Officer, Bowen Yang stole my dog.
Look, hey, Bowen Yang should be allowed to steal all the dogs he wants, or
That's
well,
right.
at least a moderate number of dogs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and five at the most. Anything else
yeah.
is
Let's cap him at 5.
yeah,
Bowen Yang is allowed to steal 5 dogs.
yeah. Any more than that, you're just a dog walker.
Yes, true, true.
Okay.
But hey, it's always fun to see a new opening, and yeah, it's fun to see this one. I wasn't really sick of the old one, but I guess they'd had so much turnover, they figured it was a good time to do it.
Yeah, it's yeah. It made. I mean, I kind of expected them to be a new opening and a new logo because, like you said, like so many people left.
Yeah,
You got some. This is like supposed to be like the rebirth of SNL, like the renewal season. So of course
yeah.
you get a
I
new
mean, I
logo.
I kind of figured we would see a new opening because it just makes sense to do it now.
Absolutely,
I mean, with all those people leaving, it is kind of the end of an era or the transition into a new one. So yeah,
absolutely. And so yeah, so let's get into it. Cold open.
cold
We got
open.
we got a Monday Night Football cold open with our host Miles Teller
Hmm.
as Peyton Manning and Andrew Dismukes as Eli Manning. And
Not a
interesting this.
bad Peyton Manning impression, I would say.
No, not at all. He kind of looks like him too.
Yeah, there's enough of a resemblance. I could see Miles Teller playing Peyton Manning in a biopic.
Absolutely.
I
You hear
mean, I
that?
I won't see it, but I could see it.
That's right. You hear that, Miles Teller's agent? Get on that.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry, I cut you off. You were about to say something.
No, that was it. Just uh, Miles' agent, get on that. Peyton Manning, the biopic.
Okay, okay, all right.
So
I was talking earlier, but all right. So we got Miles Teller as Peyton Manning, Andrew Dismukes as Eli, and the joke here is they're doing like football style analysis during the opening sketch of SNL.
yeah, and it basically it gets super meta super quick. It's
Yeah.
like it's the two of them giving commentary on the cold open SNL and basically doing what we do here on the podcast.
Yes,
Like
in real time.
yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
It's like I think they said all right, so the establishing shot is Mar-a-Lago, and then
Oh,
Pey-
another Trump sketch. Oh, yeah.
yeah, which is exactly something that I would say.
Yeah.
And
In that
yeah,
tone of voice too.
in that tone, yes. And yeah, and then they kind of they just break down all the things that podcasters and people online have been saying are wrong with the cold open.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like very quickly I was like, okay, so instead of fixing their cold open formula, they're just doing an intentionally lame cold open and commenting on it.
yeah, yeah,
Okay? I I mean that's a way to do it, I guess. I mean, I think I will be okay with this if this is like the last time they do a cold open like this. If they break all these formulas going forward, then I will be happier.
yeah. I mean, I thought it was interesting idea. I did like the meta ness of it, like how what they said Heidi Gardner comes in doing an impression of the governor of South Dakota, and Peyton Manning says, "Oh, she kind of fumbled it."
Yeah.
Gratuitous stunt casting because out of nowhere we get Sean White coming in
Yeah.
as like
It's
as a
totally
judge.
random cameo. And then
Extreme.
and John Hamm comes in, Miles Teller's Top Gun Maverick co-star, uh, which mainly just made me want John Hamm to host again.
Yes. Yeah, he still got it. The dude's hilarious. Like this
John
little
Hamm
part,
was
yeah.
wonderful. I still haven't watched his new Fletch movie, Confess Fletch. I gotta check that out. But yeah, he sells it 3 times. He kills it. Yeah, let's get John Hamm in the Five Timers Club. Come on.
Yeah, the dude's a hoot. A
Yeah,
hoot, I say.
and
Uh
plus we all get to watch John Hamm for an hour and a half, and who doesn't want to do that?
man's a dreamboat.
Yeah,
What are you
I mean
talking
I'm
about?
hetero, but still, I will look
Yeah.
at John Hamm for an hour and a half. I will look at John Hamm for a full 2 hours.
Yeah, man's gorgeous. I mean, I'd go full grimace for that.
Yeah, you get lost in his eyes.
Oh, in his eyes, the
Um,
light, the heat.
don't sing more. We don't want to pay for that.
Got it. All
Um,
right. That's why I
I
stopped.
did like a bit where they were like, oh, and Sarah Sherman's peeking in the window, and now she realizes she's caught on camera and she's trying to like get off camera. I thought that was cute. Um, but overall, I thought this was an idea that worked a little better on paper than it did in execution. You know?
I get. Yeah, I mean, now that I think about it, like, I liked it because of the meta-ness of it and how
Mhm.
like it addresses the problems that we've talked about on this podcast,
Yeah,
ad nauseum that have been on this thing. Like I like how Bowen is trying to put in his own catchphrase. It is what it is. Like
yeah.
I like how they make fun of the new cast members doing some dance called the gritty, which I guess is a big thing on TikTok, and then
I guess
them.
that's the trendy dance now. I mean, it is literally the first time I've seen that dance, but okay.
Yeah, and like they even comment saying, "Oh, this is just SNL trying to be relevant and be hip with the kids." I like how they slid in a quick joke about how SNL takes more digs at Republicans than they do Democrats. I mean,
Yeah,
they even brought in Devin Walker, who's like one of the new cast members, as the Corn Kid, which I guess is like a meme out there now. Like, I mean, they're
I thought that was just him like randomly doing a new character, but okay, yeah, maybe it's a meme. I don't know.
yeah, yeah, it's like some new meme thing. So I liked. A part of me liked it because part of me saw this as them saying, "Yeah, we know what you guys are saying about our cold opens. We know what you think of us, and yeah, we're willing to make fun of it." So like, but part of me thought,
Like
like, all right, I like this because like in a way, it's them saying, like going forward, they're not going to do this anymore, and like going forward, we're gonna see new, bigger, better stuff, and
I I don't know if they were promising that. I feel like my gut feeling is that they were just doing a sketch acknowledging it, and then they're probably going to go back to the same old cold open formulas. I hope I'm
mm.
wrong on that.
I mean, according to this episode, your gut was,
Yeah,
your gut,
but
in my eyes, your gut was kind of spot on, but we'll get there.
it feels very SNL to like we're going to acknowledge the flaws, but not do anything to change them.
Mm.
And yeah, it sounds like you like this more than I did. This one didn't really work for me overall.
I would s- I would say this might be my sketch of the night, but like I didn't like love it, but
Yeah,
I did get some kicks out of it. I like John Hamm's energy in it, and like I liked how he
always love
commented.
John Hamm's energy.
Yeah, yeah, I liked how he commented on how, like, when he saw Shaun White there, he was saying, yeah, sometimes in the cold open they'll bringing a celebrity cameo, especially when they not confident in the host to.
I did like that, and then we have Miles Teller in character as Peyton Manning and saying like, well, they rarely put the host in the cold open though, so that's kind of a vote of confidence. I mean, there were some good points and some good moments in this. I just overall, I wasn't too nuts about it.
All right, fair enough. But yeah, I mean, for me, this might be the sketch I liked the most. Which, I mean,
Okay,
we'll get into it, but like, this episode was. Hmm,
not a great start to the season. I'll just
mm,
say, yeah. I mean, for me, bottom line for the cold open, I didn't really need a sketch acknowledging the problems of the cold opens because I know what the problems with the cold opens are. I'd rather they just improved it instead of doing a sketch acknowledging here's what's wrong with them.
yeah, no, fair
So,
enough. Fair
yeah.
enough.
All right. So next, Miles Teller monologue comes out, gives a monologue.
Monologue,
Yeah.
monologue. Uh,
Um,
Yeah, I mean, it's he touches on a lot of things about like how he looks like Rachel Maddow.
Uh huh.
Talks about how he's in
Top Gun.
Top Gun Maverick, a movie loved by the military and the gay community.
Yeah. Did you see Top Gun Maverick? I didn't.
I did not, but I've heard nothing but good things about it. Like
It,
people whose opinion I kind of respect and like, they're
yeah.
saying, yeah, no, it's really good.
It was
Like,
getting like sort of a rapturous reception, and it earned like all the money, and so I just have no interest in it because, well, Tom Cruise and Top Gun. Uh,
right.
but
But I mean, from what I hear, people say it's better than Top Gun. It's actually an improvement on the original Top Gun.
okay. I mean,
So
and hey, if you enjoyed Top Gun Maverick, that's fine. That's great. That's wonderful. It's just not my thing. But no
okay,
shade on anybody who likes Top Gun Maverick.
it's
Just
not
not
my bag. It's not my bag, baby.
not my bag, baby. What do you think of Miles Teller overall? What's your general opinion on him?
You mean in his overall, like in this monologue, or just him in general?
Him in general. Like, I mean, what was your reaction when you heard he was hosting? I thought it was a very surprising choice.
I did too. I thought he was okay. I think he's a good actor. I
Mhm.
loved him in Whiplash. I thought Whiplash is a fantastic film. If
I
anybody hasn't
just
seen it,
I just recently saw Whiplash for the very first time in like the last 6 months, and yeah, that's an amazing movie, amazing piece of work, and I totally get why J.K. Simmons won that Oscar.
right?
Other than that, something about Miles Teller I find kind of off-putting, though. He
Mm,
gives off this douchey vibe at times.
okay, I could see
I don't
that.
know if it's him or if it's the parts he plays, but yeah, there's something I find a little off-putting about him.
I mean, is it just his face, or is it
It might
just
be
his?
his look. Maybe it has, as Colin Jost has titled a book. Maybe he has a punchable face. I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it, but
I could. I see what you mean. I think a lot of people kind of feel that way. It's like
yeah,
he is a good actor. He's done a lot of good films like this and Top Gun Maverick. And I mean, let's not talk about Fantastic Four, but
let's not.
he's done good stuff. But yeah, he at the same time it's like something about him that sort of prevents you from just going all in with him.
Yeah, yeah. No,
But I
I
get
don't
it.
unabashedly love him the way I do like a John Hamm.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, John Hamm. He's just dreamy. He's
he
the
also
most.
did that thing in the monologue where the hosts try to kind of get our sympathies on their side by they show like a humiliating video of themselves as kids, and this seems like a new go-to for SNL hosts in the monologue now.
That's right. So all you people who want to host SNL in the future, and if you're like 10 to 11 years old, videotape yourself doing a SNL sketch and hold
Yeah,
on to that in maybe
do
10 years.
make the humiliating video now, then you can show it on SNL in 10 or 20 years. I feel like if I don't see this again for at least 6 weeks, I would be very happy.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine. Well, for those that don't know, so in the video, it's like an old home movie of Miles Teller and his sister doing the Spartan cheerleader routine
Yeah,
from SNL.
very young Miles Teller. Like,
Yeah, and I think he
how
said
old
his
was
other
he in?
sister. Sorry.
How old was he in the video? Like 7, 8?
Yeah, I would say around that age.
Yeah,
And yeah, I mean, it's a cute video. It's very endearing and adorable. Like, it's pretty much like when Oscar Isaac showed his home movies as a kid. It's like, oh,
right.
it's adorable.
Yeah,
So, like, it seems to be something new that they're doing to sort of endear the host to the audience to be like, oh, he was a child. That's adorable.
yeah. I don't want to see. It feels like it's becoming another go-to thing for them to do, and it's going to get really played out if they do this a whole lot more.
I could see that. Yeah, now that you think about it, they kind of did that also with Kieran Culkin when they
Hmm.
got the footage when he was on SNL with his brother Macaulay hosted.
Right.
Hmm,
But hey, I totally get why they did it because it's him as a kid doing an SNL character, and he's playing the Sherry O'Terry part. They're doing the the Spartan cheerleaders, and
that's right.
Miles Teller in a pink tank top, and his mom dug up the video, and you have something that humiliating and it's SNL related. Yeah, of course you're going to show it on the show.
Absolutely. Humiliation wins hearts here at SNL.
Yeah, yeah. So decent monologue, I suppose. It didn't really send me.
Yeah, I thought it was decent. The monologue. I was like, oh, okay, this is cute. It has some good jokes. All right, let's continue on with the show.
Continue on with the show. First sketch: send something normal. And it's a totally uncharted territory for SNL. It's a game show sketch. Yes, I know. But wait, there's more. It's a game show sketch about how we use social media.
We just talked about that a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Um, so it's all the contestants are guys replying to a woman's DM on Instagram, and the challenge is just to send something normal and not something creepy. Because this is, I mean, I guess a lot of the women writers, cast members got harassed a lot on Instagram over the summer hiatus. I'm sorry for that, ladies.
Yeah,
We as a gender are horrible.
we really are.
We are awful. Um,
But yeah, see, the thing about this sketch is like when I heard that when they said the premise, I thought, oh, this is interesting. They're going to show just regular dudes and how dudes get creepy
yeah,
and like send unsolicited creepiness through women's DM. That's an interesting premise. But then they flipped it and they made the contestants three celebrities who've gotten to some hot water over some things they've sent. So instead of it being like a general thing about how dudes are creepy, it became no, these celebrities are creepy. These
yeah,
particular specific celebrities did creepy
yeah.
stuff.
Like Andy Hoagland, our friend who does the SNL recaps for Entertainment Weekly. He commented that this had the feel of like SNL kind of catching up on all the stories that they missed over the summer. So
Yeah. Mm,
so Miles Teller is the host of the game show, and the first contestant is Mikey Day as Adam Levine from Maroon Five.
right.
And
And I mean Adam, and it's basically, if you don't know, Adam Levine kind of got in a little hot water because I think he was like sending some salacious text to another woman while his pregnant supermodel wife was at home or having a kid or something, and it not a good look, as they
what
say.
is that not okay anymore?
Oh boy,
I mean, well, like, man, it's like you can't even cheat on your pregnant wife anymore. I mean, what are we coming to? Is this how PC we're getting as a culture? Yo, thanks, woke cucks.
yeah, all the woke cuck liberal woke cuck cucks
Yeah.
cuck.
Um.
What about what about He Hulk? How come what's up with all the She Hulk too
Yeah.
twerking and
Yeah.
Lizzo and flutes?
Yeah. Ugh. Um. And then we have James Austin Johnson as Army Hammer, who cheated on his wife and also has fantasies about being a cannibal.
Yeah, apparently he was like sending text to a woman about like like some disturbing stuff about him having like BDSM and cannibal and rape fantasies. And
Yeah.
like I think one of the women he was in a relationship with kind of came forward saying he's a bit of a abusive person. And yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, as far as Hollywood goes, he's been kind of outed.
He
Not
seems
outed, but
done. And there was a story like a few months ago that he's now like working selling timeshares in the Cayman Islands, I think it is.
a good gig.
And Robert Downey Jr. had sent him some money or was helping him out in recovery. And I don't know. Yeah, that's a whole weird thing. Go Army Hammer's an interesting Google now.
Yeah, like I mean I don't know if he'll ever come back. He might, but
I don't know.
it's gonna be.
That's so out there. That's so extreme. I have a tough time seeing it. And it's not like he was ever huge box office to begin with.
Yeah, I
He,
mean,
he
well,
had a, he had a good career. He was in a lot of stuff. I mean, I just recently saw him in the Kenneth Branagh version of Death on the Nile, and a good movie. And he's good in it if you can get past the Army Hammer of it all.
okay.
Uh, so and if you have trouble watching it, yep, totally get it. That's fine. Not saying you you should. Um, so yeah, so James Lawson Johnson was Army Hammer, and then they have Keenan as Neil deGrasse Tyson, which I thought was a little weird because it seemed like with him they were treating it like Neil deGrasse Tyson never had a scandal, but
Yeah,
he
like
did.
he kind of did, but then it kind of just went away. This is the weird thing with our like the way
Yeah,
we ingest media now and the news, just because like some things will come up in the news, but then we get bombarded with like all these other news like
yeah,
every day. Then that little thing of news kind of gets lost in the shuffle, and then no one remembers it, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, didn't something happen with him?"
Well,
Or I guess,
was he like investigated and then like sort of vindicated, or
yeah,
or was it just were his offenses so minor that he was able to just kind of go on like he was going? I honestly don't know. I don't follow every one of these because who has the time and the energy? But
not me.
yeah, but yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson is just basically back to what he was. He was like, I think he's still hosting Nova or and being a party pooper on Twitter, saying like, "Well, oh, actually, the Earth isn't rotating right in this shot," and being very anal retentive about scientific accuracy. So I thought that was weird.
Yeah, it was a weird thing. Like, all right, so I'm looking it up now. It says, yeah, during November and December of 2018, so, four women came forward and said accused him of sexual misconduct. One woman accused him of drugging and raping her while they were grad students at UT Austin in '84. Good
Oh
lord.
Jesus. Okay,
Yeah, and yeah,
that's
again, like no one,
remembered.
it just kind of went away, or it just
That's
maybe it
weird.
was proven he didn't do it. But yeah, it's the Neil deGrasse Tyson choice was an interesting one. That was
I,
an
I
odd
think
one.
it's just because it's like maybe it's one of those people who's in Keenan's repertoire of impressions, and it is a decent Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's got a take on him.
Yeah,
Uh, I don't.
yeah, I guess. And
And then lastly we have Bowen Yang playing himself,
yes,
who
and
does send weird things to women on Instagram, which he attributes that success to his being gay.
that's right. The gay people are they ain't creepy like us heteros.
Right.
Yeah, I don't what so I don't know, what are your thoughts on this sketch? Like I thought it was all right.
You know, I thought it was all right. I see why they led with it as the first sketch. I couldn't get fully into it just because SNL doing a game show
Mm,
thing is just such well trodden ground, and they've done other game show sketches about people using or misusing social media. So in a season premiere, you're really kind of hoping to see something more original, not something that SNL has done tons of time before. It's like, really, you've had all summer off, and this is the best idea that you come back with. So I was a little disappointed with it in that regard.
yeah, like I thought it was interesting. Again, I thought it would have been better if it was just regular guys instead of celebrities, just so it could be like more of a general thing where more people could sort of relate to it and identify with it instead of making it these specific celebrities where you have to know the backstory in order to really get this sketch. Like you
Right.
have to know what Army Hammer has done. So
Right.
and
Like I knew
so
about the Army Hammer thing, and I vaguely knew about the Adam Levine thing. Um, and I was like, oh, geez, if I'd known SNL was going to hit on this, I would have paid attention to this story over the summer.
yeah, exactly. So like even when James Dawson Johnson and as Army Hammer says the line, "I want to break open your bones and suck out the marrow," like
Yeah.
that doesn't. I mean, it's a weird line, but it hits even harder once you know what Army Hammer did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I thought, and I did like the twist at the end where Bowen is thinks he's going to walk away with this game, uh, with
Hmm.
this game and win it all. But then there's a little curveball where the host sends him like a tweet from a Dua Lipa, and then he
Yeah.
gets just as you know
The
nerdy and
exact same pervy response that,
exactly. So I
yeah.
was like, all right, that's an interesting twist.
Yeah.
But yeah, like other than that, I was like, this. I see why you would they why they went with it first, but it's still not super strong.
It was decent, but it didn't really grab me personally.
Right, absolutely.
That's about the most I can say about it. Well performed. I liked having Bowen in there playing himself. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
that was neat.
but yeah,
Yeah,
it was fine. I just couldn't get too excited about it.
yeah, off to a not the best of starts.
No. Next, we have a pre-tape. because that's what you do after the first sketch.
Yes.
Am I sounding too cynical about the show? I don't mean to.
You're sounding just cynical enough.
Okay, good. So this was a pre-tape called "Be Real" with Mikey Day and Miles Teller as bank robbers coming into a bank on midday, and they're in the midst of robbing the bank, and then everybody gets an alert on their phone that says "Time to be real," because there's this new app called Be Real where you get an alert at at I guess a random time of day, and then you have to take a picture of yourself, whatever it is you're doing, whatever the context is, and it also takes a picture of whatever you're facing, and so you're just showing yourself being real, And I guess the concept is with the app that it's not the pretense of other apps where it's like you're putting something up of you mountain climbing and it's filtered or whatever. It's
Yeah, it's supposed to be real, authentic,
yeah. So if you're
and
like at work, you post a picture of yourself at work. If you're in the bathroom, you post a picture of yourself in the bathroom. I've literally never heard of this app.
same. I did not hear. I didn't hear anything about this app until this sketch, but apparently it's a thing with the young folks.
It is a
Uh,
real app. Okay.
it is a real app, and I don't know. I really didn't like this sketch just because it felt like a straight up commercial for the app.
It was like half sketch, half ad for Be Real. And yeah, that gives you a kind of creepy feeling because it's like, okay. I mean,
Yeah,
because like one of the bank robbers, it was new to him, and he was like, "Oh, so like there's no pretense to it," and yeah,
yeah,
it's like an endorsement of Be Real, which
yeah.
is weird.
Yeah, I mean, like half the sketch is them explaining what the app is and what it does. Like straight
Right.
up, like there's barely any jokes. It's literally them saying, "Oh, well, it's this app called Be Real, and you download it and you take a blah blah blah," and it's I think that really kind of
That's your
stuck in
gripe.
my that's my real gripe because like
Yeah.
they weren't making fun of the app. They weren't making any real commentary on, social media culture or anything. There weren't any real jokes in it. Like honestly,
Yeah.
truly, if you chop this down to like a minute, this could be a commercial for Be Real. Like
Yeah.
it's straight up a commercial, and like that really
I did like how when the people who are like down on the floor in the bank robbery and there's the woman opening the vault, when they have to take their pictures, they're all posing. I did like that, and it's
yeah,
like Bowen's like sort of like bending over backwards, so I guess so he can get a butt shot or something.
yeah.
And Heidi's like primping, and I think she was like sticking her chest out the way people do on social media apps on Instagram or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, all right, yeah, that was okay, but yeah, it just seemed like a bulk of it was just them explaining what the app does and like basically selling the app, and it just, I don't know, it really bummed me out. I was like, this is a commercial. It's like there's no difference between this and when during the Elon Musk episode when he was talking about crypto or
Like
what
you literally shuddered when
I
he was calling the
I
Elon
really
Musk during the
I
Elon Musk episode.
my acid reflux kicked in when I said it.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah. Oh, sorry, just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
yeah. Like, yeah, it was just like there's a few jokes in here, but most of it is just like I said, like a commercial selling this app. There's
Yeah.
no real anything else to it, and it's just
Yeah.
like, all right, this is
Wait, how was
ugh.
that like the Elon Musk episode though? I'm sorry, I cut you off there.
Yeah, well, I mean, wasn't there a thing where he was like during the weekend update, he was doing a segment on like crypto or whatever he was.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember
It's
that now. Yeah, yeah,
like it's just
that was similarly creepy.
yeah, it's just
All
and
the
it's
more so because like Elon Musk was directly involved with the crypto stuff. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. So like yeah, this sketch I really was like,
yeah.
this really I no, I do not care for it, sir.
No, I do not like it, Sam. I am.
Yes.
I mean, I as a sketch, it was kind of okay, but yeah, the Be Real thing, yeah, it didn't really make the leap from representing Be Real to parodying Be Real. It didn't quite go far enough. Maybe they had a few other instances besides the bank robbery.
Yeah. Like they're not making fun of they're not making fun of the app at all. Like they're
Yeah.
pretty much selling it. I'm sure like as soon as people saw this, they were like, "Oh, is this a real thing?" And they went and like Googled it, and
Mm-hmm.
like I'm sure this sketch helped Be Real out immensely for
Yeah,
downloads and stuff.
and the joke at the end, by the way, is that one of the bank robbers does it, and he, of course, shows himself committing a crime, and then they cut to
Oh, you
Miles
can't do that.
Teller in prison.
Haha.
So yeah,
Yeah.
and hey, some real that's happened in real life. I mean, like the people who stormed the Capitol, like posted about it on their social media, and that's how they were caught. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're gonna commit a crime, don't post it on the gram. How about don't tell millions and millions of people you're committing a crime?
yeah, well, maybe have a little bit of intelligence, but if you were
Yeah.
smart, you probably wouldn't be a criminal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm no Danny Ocean, but like I would assume if you're going to commit a crime, you wouldn't put it on a platform where millions of people could see it. But that's just me. I don't know. I'm no mastermind.
I can't believe this is the way I find out that you're not Danny Ocean.
I'm sorry, man. I didn't
Anyway,
mean to. I didn't mean to lead you on.
yeah, my illusions have been shattered. All right, so
Mhm.
next we have Charmin Bears. Um,
Okay, I know how you feel about this already.
this was Punky and Heidi and Keenan as the Sherman Bears, and Miles Teller as a bear who got accepted to toilet paper college, but he doesn't want to go because he wants to dance.
Okay. All
What'd
right.
you
I
think
think.
of this one?
Huh?
What'd you think of this one, Darren?
Uh Weak. It wasn't
Yeah.
great. Oh, we should also mention. So the Be Real pre-tape, because I just pulled up who wrote what.
Oh.
The Be Real pre-tape was by the Please Don't Destroy Boys.
Oh.
uh, Bone Yang and Celeste Yim. The Send Something Normal was by the Please Don't Destroy Boys. And one of the new writers, Auguste White.
Okay.
Uh, Monologue, Mike DiCenzo and Jake Nordwind. And the cold open was Jost, Josh Pattern, Pete Schultz, and Brian Tucker.
Okay. Thank you for doing that. I forgot that was part of our format during the regular SNL season. Is we look up the writers and we try to credit them whenever we can.
No
So
worries.
thank you for doing that. Yeah, I'm just
Uh,
kind of relearning how we do this show after 4 years.
it's like, oh yeah, we used to do this
That's
all
a
the time.
thing we do, right? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, we watch the individual sketches and we do. Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah, all right.
Okay.
We'll have
Uh,
this done by week 2, folks.
that's right. Don't worry. We'll get it down pat.
This thing, this Charmin Bears thing. I hated this. This this the closest analogy I can say is this is like a parody of a bad SNL sketch that you'd see in a movie that's
Yeah.
about how lame SNL is.
This would be something on Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip.
Exactly. Well, no, I mean on Studio 60 all the sketches were supposed to be the most brilliant transcendent stuff ever that made us look at life and ourselves and
Right.
and question all of humanity. Um,
And just way wordier than they need to be.
right. No, I'm thinking this is something like a movie like Bob Roberts or Don't Think Twice would show to show how like lame and out of touch their
Mm.
SNL type show is. That's what I got from this sketch.
Yeah, this sketch, it kind of meanders. If you know the
Kind of
charm,
meanders.
I was being kind.
Yeah,
Like, if you know the Charmin Bears commercial, like everybody pretty much does by now, it's, bears that poop and wipe
they're
their,
bears. They poop and they get a lot of things matted on their fur because they're bears. And but Charmin's good and it helps you wipe your ass.
yeah. So,
Yay, Charmin!
in this
What a
one,
weird ad campaign that is, by the way.
it really is. I guess it's
It
supposed to be
really
cute and
is.
endearing,
I mean,
but
they've been around for so long, we don't really question it anymore. But that is a weird fucking ad campaign.
yeah.
And I realize toilet paper is tough to advertise.
Yeah, but I can't see Don Draper walking in to an agency be like, "All right, we got cartoon bears, and they're wipe their ass with your product." Huh?
Because they're very furry and things get stuck on their fur.
Hmm.
Actually, I kind of want to see that SNL sketch of Don Draper pitching the Charmin Bears.
Dude, we just pitched a better sketch than what we saw.
Yeah.
yesterday.
And you had John Hamm right there. You could have made this happen.
Hire us, SNL. Hire us.
It was kind of fun to see the people in the bear suits, and Miles Teller and Bowen did a little dance together, which was kind of cute. But overall, this was awful. Worst of the night, for as far as I'm concerned.
I thought there was one that might have been a little worse, but yeah, this definitely wasn't
Okay.
great. Like it's just like a lot of toilet paper puns. Look, I'm not saying it like I'm some highbrow, highfalutin, hoity-toity boy, but I like I
Yeah.
get into the dirt. I like
Aaron
to.
is not even wearing his monocle, folks.
I am wearing my top hat and cane, and I do have my Mr. Monopoly Man mustache. That is
Right.
true.
I mean, I'm wearing my ascot, but it's 2:30 on a Sunday. What else am I going to wear?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. What do you plebeians wear?
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't know, just them making jokes about going to TPC, toilet paper college, studying in defecatory studies and urinary arts. I was like, all right, I guess. And then yeah, it just ends with Miles Teller dressed as a bear dancing to the new Lizzo song with Bo and Yang. I was like, this, hmm, it's
Yeah.
it just kind of yeah, it just kind of meanders and kind of peters out, and it never really like the funniest line I thought was when Heidi Gardner was talking to Miles Teller, saying, "Yeah, honey, we're bears. It's what we do. We eat honey and we shoot it out." And like, I thought that was funny because I'd never heard of pooping as shooting it out before. That's really,
I mean, that's a visual.
yeah, just bang like a shotgun,
Yeah.
like a shotgun bang. What's up with that thing?
I don't have much else to say about this one. I just thought it was awful. I was just waiting for it to end. And I mean, how long was this sketch?
I don't know, but yeah, this
It
was.
seemed longer than it was, and not in a good way.
Yeah, I mean, also like so with the way the cold open was, it made me think, oh wow, we're getting a new SNL. Like they know their problems, they're gonna shake things up.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm like, oh no, no, they're not.
Yeah. You know what? As long as you mentioned the cold open, let me go back momentarily. One thing I thought was really nice about the cold open was that all the new cast members got a chance to say live from New York on their very first show. I
Oh
thought
yeah,
that was
that's right.
that's that's a nice thing for them to get to do. And no
Yeah,
matter how their SNL tenure turns out, that's a memory they'll always have. And so
yeah,
that's really cool.
making memories. SNL.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, should we move on to the next sketch?
Let's do Rooftop Bar, written by Rosebud Baker, Mikey Day, and Streeter Seidel.
Mm. Okay, this was Miles Teller and Mikey Day. They got paired up a lot in this episode, man.
I did notice that. Yeah, I wonder what that was
I guess
about.
they really hit it off during the week.
Yeah, and also maybe because I guess at this point Mikey has the tenure. He's like the seasoned
uh,
vet. So maybe they were like, well, let's pair him with the most seasoned person, so you can.
I mean, is Mikey the main guy on the show? Is he the face of SNL? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if he's the face, but he's definitely. I mean, with him, like him and Keenan are like the two most seasoned vets on the.
Yeah,
Not counting Jost and Che, but
right.
they're the two most like I guess elder statesmen of the show right now.
Weird to think of Mikey being kind of an elder statesman, but
Yeah, I mean this is season 8 for him now, right? I believe.
that's time flies, man.
Really
Anyway,
does.
it's Miles and Mikey. They're two day traders at a rooftop bar. They're broing out, and then they're talking a big game. They're like, yeah, I forget how they phrase it. They want to get their dicks wet, basically.
Jonathan, my word.
Not my name, but okay.
Okay.
Um, and then the joke is, they try to pick up on Ego and Chloe when they come by, and they're just clueless with women.
Yeah, they basically turn into John Lovitz and Tom Hanks, the two guys that like can't talk to girls that they walk by.
Yeah. Oh my. Oh
Oh my.
no. I wished I was watching that sketch instead. This, it just really suffered in comparison, and also it seemed really weird that for a second sketch of the night, we're doing a thing about how guys don't really know how to talk to women or are clueless around women.
Yeah, yeah, that seems to be the go-to, and
Yeah.
it's another sketch where it kind of goes on a little too long. There's no building really. It's Mikey says like he's talking in a high voice because he's nervous, and
Yeah,
that's pretty much the joke. It's like, oh no, why am I talking like this? Like
yeah,
he's saying awkward things like the Chloe orders a vodka cranberry, and he's like, oh, vodka cranberry. Oh, you have a UTI. Like
yeah.
he's saying awkward things like that, which are kind of funny, but still, it's
And look, I'm not saying that stuff doesn't happen. I'm not saying guys don't freeze up, especially when they're talking to a woman cold.
oh, trust me, I know.
Oh yeah, no, been there.
Oof.
Uh, but yeah, it didn't really send me, and yeah, it seemed very repetitive, especially after the do something normal or send something normal. And
Yeah,
it not nearly as funny as the classic Tom Hanks John Lovitz sketch
yeah.
of
I saw online people comparing it to like the Bloater brothers from back in the day as well, which I kind of blocked from my memory.
what were the Bloater brothers?
I believe wasn't that like Chris Parnell and Jimmy Fallon? It was like I don't know.
I'd
I shouldn't
have to
even.
look that up. I'd have to look that up. I have no memory of the Bloater brothers.
Yeah, it's barely worth looking up. But
Okay, all right.
yeah, but it's like one of those things. There were like
Well, God knows I've seen my share of mediocre SNL sketches in the last 24 hours.
and it won't be your last.
It won't be my last. Have we gotten to the sketch you thought was the worst of the night yet? By the way.
No, not yet. We're getting there.
Okay, all right. Hey, well, something to
Yeah,
look forward to.
yeah. I thought this was like okay, but yeah, it kind of rambles on. Doesn't really go
Hmm.
really big build, and then it ends with us finding out the two day traders like aren't haven't had sex. Like one, like Miles Teller character hadn't had sex in like 11 years, and the other one's never had sex.
Yeah,
And
Mikey
then
Sanders,
that's
virgin.
it. Yeah, one's a virgin, and then that's it. It was like, all right, that's
Yeah,
it's a way, it's
yeah.
a choice. It's a way to go.
Didn't really send me. I might have liked it better if it would have been in isolation. I think in conjunction with the game show sketch from earlier, I think that really was a hit against it.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Next, we have another pre-tape with Chloe Feynman, Nicole Kidman AMC ad, which I'm sure people have seen. If you've been in an AMC theater sometime within the last year, you've seen this. Nicole Kidman sitting in a movie theater, just going, feels good in a place like this. Just talking about
Right.
how amazing movies are, and yeah, ripe for parody. Definitely ripe for parody.
Very much so. Like a lot of people. Oh, this is also written by Chloe Feynman, Jake Nordwind, and Will Steven. And
And
yeah,
a showcase for her Nicole Kidman impression.
yeah. Like she really, like really puts that Australian accent. Like she really does
Amps
it.
up the accent.
Yeah. Like I've heard Nicole Kidman talk. She doesn't talk that Australian, does
She
she?
doesn't have that much. I mean, I can hear it with like Hugh Jackman. I can hear it with like other Australian celebrities. Nicole Kidman, not so much. But
Yeah.
I was
She
like,
really
oh,
like.
okay. Uh,
Yeah. She really leans into that action. She's like,
yeah.
heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
Yeah, she's like Crocodile Dundee. And the twist here is that like Nicole Kidman is like empowered by all the people watching this, and then like the people in the theater, they get up like it's the Pledge of Allegiance, and she's becoming like some movie dictator. I don't know. It seemed like a fuzzy premise.
Yeah, I mean, I think the premise is because I have seen this commercial like 100 times, but like I know online it has like a huge following. Like people are like kind of obsessed with it in some weird
Uh-huh.
way, and I believe like in some theaters, like when this comes on, people like kind of jokingly salute at it because
So it's
there's.
become like a Rocky Horror Picture Show type of thing.
I think so. Yeah, like people are like oddly fascinated by this ad for some. I mean, I don't. I'm like whatever with it. It's like
I wasn't aware that it had become that much of a meme that like people are literally standing up in theaters, and that was the thing that they're actually doing.
Right. Yeah. So like I think what they were going for was like because it's
Get
such.
on, I'm out of touch, man.
Yeah.
I just this
You're
this
out of touch.
this show just is making me like just feel horribly out of touch with all of pop culture
Yeah.
right now. I
Like Yeah, it's same.
And maybe that's just on me. I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's I think that was the premise of it, where because this thing has like so many people are enraptured by it,
Uh-huh.
enamored by it, like people are sort of has like a almost like a cult like devotion, and
Okay.
so in a way, it's like she's starting a cult. She's through these commercials, and they power her almost like Zool from Ghostbusters, where she like
Right. She's like rising up like she's in a Street Fighter game and there's like electricity
exactly
flowing out of her eyes and
yeah like Highlander,
yeah. Yeah,
and
she's the quickening. Yes.
yes exactly. I mean, I did like the sketch.
Those are our pop culture references on movies from 1985.
Yeah, SNL. When are you gonna do a sketch about the quickening?
Yeah.
I'm,
Let's
s- yeah,
come on, the Highlanders right there, and it's like all great pop culture. It came out when I was 13, so get
exactly.
on it, SNL.
I'm sitting here waiting for you to do a sketch about Alf or the Last Starfighter, and you're just over there making Be Real sketches. What
I mean, come
gives?
on. How about when they revamped the A Team in the fifth and final season? Then they brought Robert Vaughn on to boss him around. How about that?
Oh wow, I barely remember that. Whoa,
I know, deep cut.
ooh,
Uh,
deepest the deepest of cuts.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, as far as this AMC ad, I did like it. I wish they went farther with it towards the end. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
seems like they were like tiptoeing towards something cool with her becoming like this all omnipotent,
Like, what is he gonna
being.
do with her army? Or I don't know. Yeah, they could have gone a little farther with it, but
Yeah, but like they kind of cut it off before it got really
yeah.
crazy and
My
like it.
my main reaction to this was just like, okay, all right,
Yeah,
this is all right. I wouldn't mind seeing Chloe do Nicole Kidman again.
yeah, no, she has a good Nicole Kidman in her back pocket. But yeah, like I wish they
I
went.
don't think it's her strongest impression. I mean, the fact that she was really doing the Australian accent, uh, I don't know. It was a choice.
It was a choice.
Yeah. I mean,
But yeah,
it's not as great as like her Drew Barrymore or her Elizabeth Olsen or I mean, she's got so many great impressions in her
yeah,
pocket.
I
So
really liked her Phoebe Waller Bridge. Like I hope she brings
mhm.
that somehow.
Yeah, yeah,
Or her Reese Witherspoon is very good as well.
yeah,
But yeah, like this sketch, I thought it was okay, but it could have been really good if they just went further with it and explored that whole like supernatural part. I thought it was like close to being like, oh, all right, this is getting interesting, and then they just cut it off before it got interesting. So I
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
it's like you're almost there, but you chickened out.
All right. So next we have our musical guest of the week, Mr. Kendrick Lamar. Uh,
Lamar.
he did, as is the wont of SNL musical guests, two musical numbers,
Yeah, yeah. First
and
track.
and we're going to cover them both here together because
Ooh,
that's how we do it because it just makes the most sense to us to do it that way. So
this is how we do it.
yeah.
Yeah. So the first number he did was a mashup of two of his songs off his new album. He It started off with "Rich Spirit"
Mm-hmm.
and went into N95.
Mm-hmm.
And the second song was called "Father Time," featuring Sampa or Sampha.
Sampha, I think. Yeah, because
Sampha.
it's Sampha.
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 What'd you think of his stuff? Are
I
you okay
liked.
with a fan?
I actually am. Yeah, I enjoy his stuff. I know it's. I find him really interesting. I find what he raps about really interesting, just because he's sort of carved himself this great little niche where he's he's like very popular in the mainstream, but he also raps and talks about like very sort of heavy topics and things with a lot of weight and substance to them. Like I've noticed, like
Mhm.
for those that know, I'm a huge hip hop head, especially like '90s, early aughts hip hop. I guess it's old school now, but like in the world of hip hop, it is easy to sort of be more mainstream and popular if you just talk about sort of level stuff. Be like, like, yo, look at all this money I'm making. Yo, my raps are dope, and look at all these women I sleep with and my cars and blah blah blah. But
Mhm.
like Kendrick has sort of made it so that he could talk about like really deep issues, like issues that he's had in his life, issues that's going on in the world, racism, politics, religion, and whatnot. And it's still kind of mainstream. So I give him props for that.
Okay.
Um, and I also thought these performances were interesting, like the way he was performing in this like bare white room with just a fan, but you could see his shadow in the background. But then the shadow was dancing when he wasn't
Yeah.
in the first performance. Um, and in the second performance, it was him and Sampha, the Father Time song, where it's it's a song about his father issues, like issues he's had with his dad, and therapy and all these things. And as you can see, he's in that same bare room, and the walls are literally closing in on him. I thought that was an interesting choice.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like this. I like his stuff. I I understand like his stuff isn't like super flashy, and you do like with Kendrick Lamar, you do have to like really listen to the lyrics to hear what he's saying. It's not just music you can play in the background and do while you do your laundry. You have to kind of be immersed in it. But yeah, as far as these two performances go, I enjoyed it just because like I'm a Kendrick Lamar fan. I don't know how they hit the normal person or the layman, but I enjoyed these two performances.
Yeah, I wouldn't say his stuff really worked for me. It just didn't grab me. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm saying it's not for me.
Okay, no, I get it. It's like his stuff is like
Yeah,
very wordy and very dense, and
yeah,
for some
yeah.
people that's like I don't want
The
to think right now.
the first number, I was like, he's doing what he does well. This is just not my personal thing. The
Hmm.
second number, Father Time, I just didn't really like the song. It didn't really hook me in.
Eh, fair enough.
Yeah, I don't have much else to say about him. I'm afraid.
All right,
So
no, fair enough. Fair enough. I
oh,
I enjoyed it, but like I understand Kendrick may not be for everybody.
yeah. I think you just have to mark me down as not for me.
All right, c'est la vie.
C'est la vie. That's just the way it goes.
Mm.
Uh,
Some
next,
things will never change.
next we have a weekend update with let me look it up. Colin Jost and Michael Che.
Che, the longest tenured weekend update correspondents are back, ladies and
Yep,
gentlemen.
yep. Same opening for weekend update too.
Yeah.
Yeah, why change it at this point? this,
Is-
this is probably their last year. Just yeah.
you think this is it after this?
I feel like it is. Yeah. I mean, I feel like Jay's had one foot out the door for at least a year, and
Mm.
Joe's. I don't know. He was on Seth Meyers this week, and he was talking about all the hassle the ferry that he co-owns with Pete Davidson is. And, like what a headache that is, and like apparently they decided to call it Titanic 2 as a goof, but that's making it very difficult for them to get insurance for it.
It
Um,
is. Oh.
yeah, yeah. Apparently they don't want to insure something called Titanic 2, and I mean, totally relatable material that everyone
Yes.
can empathize with.
Oh, if I had a nickel for every time I had problems with my Staten Island ferry.
Right, right. Um, so yeah, no, I feel like this is it for them. I mean, unless Joe's is in such a financial hole because of the ferry, uh, who knows? Um, all right,
I
so
gotta stay. I gotta stay on for another year. The
yeah,
ferry's breaking me.
the ferry's killing me. I mean, even Scarlett's like, why the hell did you buy this thing?
Scarlett's so mad I can't go back home.
She's like, I don't have the Black Widow money anymore. You gotta unload this thing. Uh, I don't know. So yeah, Jost and Che reporting on, commenting on the stories of the day, and occasionally making jokes about them. Uh,
that's that's
what
what
do
they
you
do.
think? What were the jokes that jumped out at you on this one?
Um, there were a few jokes that jumped out at me.
Yeah.
Upon second viewing, I liked how they talked about Marjorie Taylor Greene getting a divorce,
Uh huh.
how her husband blamed irreconcilable differences, and she blamed the Jews.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked. Che had a nice joke about Putin is annexing um, the Ukraine, and they had a big celebration in Red Square apparently, and and Che was like, "Hey, don't judge, but say what you will, but a gig's a gig." And then they show a picture of him performing in Red Square. I thought that was cute.
Yeah, I also like that one joke Jost had, where he
Uh-huh.
was talking about the new Italian prime minister
Hmm.
who spreads white supremacist ideals. And
Right.
he says, then that's crazy. I mean, are we counting Italians as white now?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a
That
good
was like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
that was a good joke. I liked just had he had a joke about there's a new movement to have nutritional labels on the front. Apparently, there's some the Biden administration is pushing, and he says, "So we as Americans are too lazy to do this." And then he turns a box around.
Yep.
I liked that. That was a nice bit of observational humor.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's some good jokes in this weekend update.
Hmm. Hmm.
There's some good
I
stuff.
mean, we know what we're getting from Weekend Update at this point. They're not really shaking the formula up for that. I don't know if we really need to shake up the formula a Weekend Update. It is what it is with these
It
two.
is it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah,
and I'm
we
not
pretty
saying that's a bad thing. It's just that's what it is. It's that fast food restaurant where you know exactly the meal you're going to get.
exactly.
And I don't really mean that as a criticism. I think they're pretty solid at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad.
So, I mean, I'm not going to be sorry to see it change up, but that's not going to happen for another year. So let's enjoy this season with them.
Yeah. Let's let them ride off into the sunset.
Exactly. Let's see. We had a few desk segments. We had. Am I getting the order of this right? We had James Austin Johnson and Keenan as Mitch McConnell and Herschel Walker.
Yep, that was first.
Yeah.
Um yeah, so for those that don't know, Herschel Walker is this the Georgia Senate candidate. He's running for
Right.
senator. He is a former NFL player, no
Right.
political experience at all, and he's
Right.
already been caught lying about 3 secret children he's had.
Well, I mean, how can this not work out great?
Yeah. And yeah, so basically it's James Austin Johnson is Mitch McConnell, since we don't
Has he
have Beck
done
and
Mitch on the show before?
I don't believe so. It was always Beck before, but
Right.
now
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he had. Of course, it was Beck because he had that exceptionally turtley Mitch McConnell.
yes.
Yeah, I feel like James Austin Johnson, his Mitch McConnell's okay. I don't feel like it's totally there yet.
Yeah, I'm sure he's still working on it, but like I liked it. I didn't mind it.
Yeah, it was all right. I feel like it has potential.
Yeah, and yeah, and we have Keenan as Herschel Walker, and yeah, and it's just kind of I don't know
He's very clueless. Yeah,
yeah, it's just like a lot of spitting out a lot of non sequiturs about how showing how clueless he is about China in the air.
hmm
I don't know. This one kind of went on a little too long,
it did.
kind of rambly, mambly.
Yeah,
And yeah, it didn't really seem to go anywhere. Like, and also, it's a thing where I thought there'd be like a little bit more back and forth between J and Keenan, but it was mostly Keenan. Kind
yeah,
of,
yeah. Because I mean, yeah, Mitch McConnell had to be kind of the straight man in this,
yeah, absolutely.
and
So,
a little weird because he's usually the butt of the joke.
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I didn't write down too many notes for this one. Like, usually I write down a joke I like. I didn't write down anything for
I
this.
was like, this person played this person, and this one played that one. That's pretty much all I have.
Just the facts, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Uh,
this one was like to me.
and then we had one of the new cast members, Michael Longfellow, doing a bit that I'm sure is adapted from his stand-up act. All
Absolutely.
the new people are stand-ups, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Yeah. And so he's talking about conservative family members, and he's there. The inroad to this was a story that had hit, I think, at least a month ago, where
Yeah, yeah, like Sydney Sweeney, who's an
Sydney
actress.
Sweeney from Euphoria,
Right.
um, and like she had, I think it was a birthday or an anniversary event for her parents, and apparently because her parents are from the South somewhere, I think she has a lot of conservative family members. They were wearing like Blue Lives Matters T-shirts and MAGA caps, and she was getting a lot of flack on social media for this.
Yeah, basically she had to be like, "Oh, come on, you guys, don't judge people just because they wear Blue Lives Matter shirts and blah blah." And it's like, all right.
Yeah,
So
I
that
mean,
was
look,
yeah,
yeah, they're your family and you love them, but Yeah, those are not good things.
Absolutely. So yeah. So it's basically uh was it Michael Longfellow talking about that. He's from Arizona,
Hmm.
and of course, he talks about his dad, who is anti-vax and
Yeah.
pro-Trump, and
He had a good line. He had a couple of good lines. He's like, "You shouldn't cut anti-vax people out of your life because they could be dead tomorrow."
that was the first big laugh I had of the night.
Killer line, killer line. I also like, like I think Jost gave him the straight line. He was like, "Oh, so is your family conservative?" And he's like, "No, they're that little known liberal sect of anti-vaxxers that you hear so much about."
Yeah, I also like the little back and forth he had with Jost, where he's like, "Oh, you know how it is, Colin. You have Republicans in your family," and he was like, "Actually, no, I don't." And then he said, "Oh, so just you?"
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then I think they went on to say, I think Jost went on to say, "God, no, I'm more of like a Bill Maher liberal." And then
yeah,
he was like, "Oh, so Republican." Got
yeah.
it.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, this I liked. I thought this was
It,
pretty good.
I thought it was okay. I didn't feel like it was a home run for the new guy, but it was a decent beginning. It was very obviously adapted from stand up set.
Hmm.
But I like that we have a new cast member who's already making fun of Colin. I feel like
Yes.
it's good that we're maintaining that tradition.
If anything, we need more of that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Uh, y- yeah, but I liked it. I thought he was funny. He gave me kind of Norm Macdonald vibes a little bit.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Norm Macdonald vibes. Yeah,
ah,
yeah, yeah.
hey, Colin, you're Bill Maher liberal, eh? Eh? Yeah. I saw online people saying he looked like a young Richard Marx. I,
Huh. Okay, I'd have to look at him again, but I didn't get that on my first viewing. But all right.
well, go look it up now, and I will be right here waiting for you. Huh? Come on.
I see what you were trying to do there, but Darren, it don't mean nothing.
Uh, should have known better.
Yeah.
We have fun here on the podcast.
Hold on to the night.
Uh,
That's the one other one I thought of.
okay. It didn't even work in the thing we're doing here.
No, it didn't, but it's another Richard Marx song, and I just wanted to name all the ones I could think of.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Uh, and lastly, we had Bowen coming on as the spotted lanternfly, which apparently has just been classified as an invasive species. And so Bowen was doing that sort of iceberg that hit the Titanic thing, where he's pushing back against that. And the joke is he's acting like he's a guest on Maury.
Yeah, I mean, for those that don't, I think most people outside of New York and New Jersey know where the spotted lanternfly, the thing that happened this summer, where there's like a huge onslaught of them coming into New York and New Jersey, and we've been told here in the tri-state area, like as soon as you see one, you got to kill it on site because they can be very harmful to crops. They can kill trees. I've seen a couple of them in my neighborhood. There's definitely a ton of them down in like Jersey City. Like I was
Hmm.
in Jersey City a couple of months ago, and like I saw at least like 5 or 7 of them just hanging around. So it's a
I
thing here in the tri-state
feel
area.
I feel a little sketchy that it's like now our job to kill these guys. Now we're like state sponsored assassins.
Yeah, a little
Why is
bit.
this my job all of a sudden to kill all the spotted lantern flies?
Yeah. Suddenly I'm in Starship Troopers over here.
Exactly, exactly. Why is this my problem? Why don't you as a community like figure out a way to kill all these things? Why is
Yeah,
this on the private citizen?
yeah. Where is my tax money going?
Yeah. And I mean, do I get a bounty for these? I mean, hey, I need work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
You
good
could be
work.
a spotted lanternfly bounty hunter,
Exactly.
bruh.
Exactly.
Yet another better sketch than what we've seen here tonight.
But I thought this was cute. I mean, Bowen throws himself into this stuff with gusto.
Mm.
I like this. I thought this was cool.
Yeah, I thought this was cute enough. It's
I
like,
thought it was one of the better things of the night, and I totally see why they ended Weekend Update with that.
yeah, like it's basically, yeah, like Bowen coming out saying like a Maury Povich guest, like y'all don't know me, y'all haters, y'all haters. Look at my wingspan and whatnot. And then of course they have, I think he talks smack about crops in it. So Che surprised him saying, "Well, actually, we have crops here right now." And of course, we see Andrew
Yeah.
Dismukes dressed as a big stalk of corn.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
and the costume's kind of falling apart a little bit in the middle.
It was like a two-piece costume, and it was separating in an awkward area. Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, I don't think they put it on right or something. But then the two of them duke it out in front of everybody, like
Yeah.
Maury Povich style.
Yeah. Yeah. It was cute. It was cute. I don't want to see like Bowen go to this well too often, but I think it's a fun thing to do every once in a while.
Yeah.
Uh, by the way, does it seem like SNL is splitting up update a little too much on YouTube? Like this update was like 5 different segments on YouTube.
Hmm.
And I get
Uh.
that part of that is because we had 3 desk segments, but I think like it should be split up to like 3 things max.
Yeah. Like I don't know why they couldn't. I see what you're saying because like they divide up the joke parts that Josie
Yeah.
and Che have, but like I don't see why you couldn't just like take those two joke parts and make them one big joke part
Yeah.
video.
Yeah.
So instead of I don't know. Maybe they think people's attention spans are super short, so they're like, oh, they won't sit through a 5 minute clip, but 3 minutes.
All right. What'd you say? My mind drifted off.
There it is. Okay, I see what you did there. Aha!
It's a little turn. Yeah. All
Ah, you
right.
son of a bitch.
I don't like you, but god damn, do I respect you.
And that was a weekend update. Not bad. It's definitely
Not bad. I think the highlight for me, I think I liked the the spotted lanternfly thing a little better than Michael Longfellow's thing. But
okay. Yeah, I'm the other way, but like I get it. I see what you're
all
saying.
right, I'll see you in hell.
Wow. All right. Okay.
No,
See
it's
you
just what I
there.
say when I disagree with somebody.
Okay. I'll see you in hell.
Yeah, well, let's face it, we're both going to hell.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
oof. I've done things.
yeah.
Oof. Next up, the McDonald's sketch.
This is on YouTube. It's just Grimace. They're
Oh,
filming a new uh, they're filming a new McDonald's commercial with all the old characters. With Mikey as Ronald McDonald, Sarah is that little chickadee thing that I never learned the name of.
I believe it was an early bird, if I'm not
Early
mistaken.
bird. Okay. Oh, because it's like an early bird breakfast. Okay. Bowen is the Hamburglar. Keenan is Mary McCheese. The costumes in this sketch, by the way, first rate, amazing. Especially if you put all these together inside of a week.
Yeah, no, absolutely,
Incredible costuming.
absolutely.
Um, who wrote this one? I don't have credits for this one. You know,
Ooh, da. Oh yeah, I don't see any credits on this one. Well, let's talk about it. I'll see if I can find some
unknown SNL writer. Um,
writer X.
Writer X. So yeah, so they're doing this new, they're planning this new ad, and then Miles Teller comes out as Grimace, and we find out that Grimace lost 300 pounds over the summer, and he got cut. It is a jacked Grimace. It's like
Yeah, it's like
the
Thanos.
yeah, it's like the Rock times 10. And they're like, "How'd you do this, Grimace?" And he's like, "Well, for starters, I stopped eating McDonald's for every meal."
All right, interesting.
And he's walking everywhere, and then we find out his marriage broke up because he was like cheating a lot. He was like, "Yeah, I was swerving this summer," and then he comes out as bisexual.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and we even have like the background trees just sort of looking at each other awkwardly. I like the touch of the trees glancing at each other.
Yeah, that was a nice little touch. I was like, oh, okay. Uh,
Honestly, this sketch was so out there. I feel like Sarah had something to do with the writing of it. This feels like a Sarah sketch to me.
it's very possible.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, but this is a sketch I really wasn't too
you
wild
didn't
about.
like this one, really?
No, I mean, it just felt like they were kind of again, it's like the issues I have with a lot of the sketches were just kind of directionless, and it's just kind of like a bunch of stuff they throw in there
Uh huh.
to throw it in. I
See,
mean,
I liked this one. I liked this one
oh
from a premise standpoint. I do. I definitely feel like it petered out towards the end.
yeah,
Um, I really feel like they didn't really know where to go with it past the midpoint. But I liked I liked Grimace coming out and being jacked. I liked him coming out as bisexual. I liked the trees glancing at each other. I liked Ronald not knowing how to deal with that.
Yeah, see, I like all of that. I do think it's a good premise, and there's more they
Yeah.
could have done with it. But then it goes off in this weird direction where Keenan, dressed as Mary McCheese,
Yeah.
talks about how he was actually a prince that got cursed by a gypsy, and now he's a
That
ham.
that was like totally random, and that was like, let's just give Keenan something to do and let him go off on a rant. That felt very extraneous to the sketch. Yes.
Yeah, and then a Hamburglar, and Early Bird come out as they say, "Oh, we're bisexual too,"
Right.
and then
That
Ronald
seemed to
says,
sort of like be getting it back on topic a little bit, like they were kind of course correcting. Yeah.
"Yeah," and then it ends with Ronald saying, "Oh, I should get the abs like you so I could swerve this summer too, Grimace." And then it just cuts to the McDonald's logo saying, "I'm ba da ba ba ba, I'm loving both."
Yeah.
Which, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, like
I
I
feel like it's like 50 to 60% a good sketch, which with the slim pickings of this week's show, I sketch of the night with me like raising my arms like, I guess it's this.
yeah, it's a good premise, but yeah, I just didn't think they knew where to go with it. And yeah, like
I
halfway
feel like if
through,
you cut the Keenan monologue out, it would be a much stronger, more focused sketch overall.
I think so. Yeah, definitely. The Keenan thing came out of nowhere and added
I'm not
nothing.
saying Keenan should have had nothing to do. I mean, but give him something else. Have him react, but have him react on the main topic of the sketch, which is Grimace being cut and bisexual.
Yeah, exactly. Let's. I mean, we gotta. I mean, it's weird that like Grimace being buff and bisexual like wasn't interesting enough to fill a sketch.
We had to stick in a weird mystical backstory for Mary McCheese, which is like him in a version of Beauty and the Beast or something. And he's like, yeah, and I was cursed by this woman. And yeah, that was so weird. And it pretty much left my head as soon as he was done with that.
Yeah, exactly. See, it's so forgettable, but yeah,
Yeah.
like I really I wasn't too hot. I mean, I didn't hate it as much as I disliked the Be Real sketch, but still, I was like,
Right.
this feels underdone. This feels half baked. Like I thought we were starting this new season anew. This is new beginnings, and we seem to be
Yeah.
falling into the same old traps.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. It's not a great look for the season premiere. A little
Mm.
distressing. It's
Yeah, but then
best
again, like
for
yeah,
the
I
season
mean
to come.
yeah, but I'm thinking the first episode of every season is always a little choppy.
Little Rocky. I don't know.
Mm.
I want to kind of guns a blazing, man.
Yeah.
And I don't get why it has to ramp up like that. I feel like you've been doing the show for nearly 50 years. You should know how to do a strong premiere. You know,
It's yeah. Come on, guys, we're rooting
is
for
that
you.
too much to ask? Is that so wrong?
I just want to be loved. Is that
Thank
so
you, thank you
wrong?
for getting the Harvey Weinstein, or not the Harvey Weinstein, Harvey Firestein reference.
Yes.
Very different men,
Yes.
very different individuals.
Whoa, easy. Yes, very different. Harvey Firestein will tell you that every time.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's somebody else.
Okay.
That's not me.
Well,
That's not me.
it's odd that we differ on that sketch so much. This is kind of interesting because we don't usually disagree too much on the sketches, but we disagreed on the Grimace sketch and a little on the Be Real sketch.
A little. I don't know what's happening to us, John. What's
I don't know.
happening
Are
to
we
us?
drifting apart? Do we need to seek counseling?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
Okay,
miss us.
I miss us.
Oh.
Anyway, let's barrel through. We got one more sketch.
Yes, Caribbean Queens.
Caribbean Queens.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, now they're
This is
sharing the same dream, and their hearts will beat as one.
No More Love on the Run.
That's the last lyric that I couldn't remember. Thank you.
Come on, man. That's a banger. Billy Ocean, what?
It's a song.
All right, that's it. I'm out of here.
It's no get out of my dreams, get into my car. I'm just saying.
Damn it. All right, you're right. Fuck. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Get into my car.
Somebody on Twitter, and I don't remember who said this because I saw this years ago. They were like, "That song is just straight up about abduction. That song does not." Billy Ocean is just straight up abducting women in that song. Right.
Get in the backseat, baby.
You know he's putting those women in the trunk.
Yes, that's right.
Um, so this sketch is Ego and Heidi. They're two women. They went to the Caribbean for a week and they've stayed there for 5 months.
Yeah, they're basically like the island resort sort of divorcees, like the star Barb and Star types who
Yeah, yeah,
dress in Mr. Roper gowns, Mrs. Roper gowns, and drink
yeah.
Michaels.
We got some moo moo type stuff going on. Yeah, and they start out the show how they always do. They Google if Billy Ocean is still married, yeah, and he
Yeah.
is.
Oh.
Um, and then we bring in Miles Teller and Keenan as the two guys that they talked up with. That they talked up in the bar last night, and they're seeing them during the day to see if the vibe is still there.
Yeah. Keenan sells catheters, and Miles Teller's a white rapper.
Yeah, I think that's what they said.
Right.
And then they kind of grind on them, and they talk about how they're getting chubs.
Yeah. Then we have Punky Johnson in the sketch as like the Jamaican uh, person
Bartender.
that bartender. So we hear Punky in a Jamaican accent.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Um,
nice that Punky's getting a little more to do. She's popping up in the show a little more. It's nice to see her like in the regular cast in the opening credits.
yeah, no,
That's
absolutely,
cool.
absolutely. Um, yeah, I didn't write too
This didn't
much.
really send me. This felt like an attempt to get a regular sketch for Ego and Heidi going, and I don't know if it's quite there yet. I mean, maybe this will develop a time. Look, hey, Wayne's World started out at the end of the show.
It's very true. And look
I
where it
mean,
is
so,
now.
yeah, so maybe this will be a new thing. Maybe this will be the new trendy SNL character. I wasn't really quite feeling it. I did like the gag at the very end when they said like, "Well, let's bring Billy's little brother Frank Ocean out," and then they had the new guy playing Frank Ocean,
Yeah,
and he's
Devin Walker.
Devin Walker. Thank you. And he's like, "Yeah, I keep telling you, we're not related." I
uh,
think that was cute.
yeah, yeah. I mean, as far as the sketch goes, like it seems like everybody's having fun doing it. It seems like
Yeah,
Ego and Heidi are really vibing and really enjoy. I mean, like if you've seen them on social media, it seems like they're like really good friends in real life. And this sketch
yeah,
seems to be like them sort of establishing themselves as the new Kate and Edie of the show, like the new
yes,
pairing.
yeah, very much so.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean that's great. I love Ego's work. I love Heidi's work. But yeah,
Uh huh.
this sketch, it's an interesting premise for a sketch. But yeah, it doesn't really. There's nothing really much there. It needs
Yeah,
like
I don't know if it went too much anywhere. I feel like yeah, if we're gonna continue these characters, we need a little more for them to do. Um,
yeah,
it's
exactly,
no like Bronx Beat.
exactly.
Yeah, to just arbitrarily compare it with some other sketch where two regular cast members did, two other female cast members did regular characters.
Yeah, it's no leg up. Oh no, actually that's something else. But
Yeah, I was
yeah.
never nuts about leg ups.
Oh, okay. Damn it. All right. Well, that was a bad. That was a bad analogy. Oops.
Yeah, I mean
Uh,
leg up was fine.
yeah, but I mean, I do like the energy between Heidi and Ego. I do like how they
Yeah,
go full in. I just wish there was more, like more stuff for them to go in with. More
I need a little more Dionne Warwick talk show vibe to this.
exactly.
You know?
Like I think once you write like sort of more, like like better material, something more really substantial that they can sink their teeth into. I think then we really got something. And
Right.
this was written by one of the new writers, Jimmy Fowley, Allison Gates, and Ken Sublette.
Oh, okay. All right. So we got Allison Gates and Ken Sublette with
Hmm.
one of the new people. Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, not bad. Um, yeah, and that's the episode, guys. Overall, what are your thoughts on it? The whole kit and caboodle.
Uh, I mean, mediocre at best. I'd say that's being kind. I thought it was a pretty lackluster season premiere, honestly.
Uh, yeah, I'd unfortunately have to agree. I think it started off strong,
Yeah.
saying like making fun of itself. I mean, to me at least, it was like they were saying, "Hey, we know the mistakes we've made in the past. We're not going to do it anymore. This is a new era, new day." And then they
Yeah,
kind of then it's the same old meet the new boss,
yeah.
same as the
Like
old
like
boss.
I said, I like the idea of that more than the execution of it. And yeah, this, I mean, so much of tonight just didn't work for me. It was,
Mm,
and it's just too bad because you want to be really excited going into a new season, and this just wasn't there. It wasn't there for me. But I mean, I don't know.
yeah,
So yeah, I think this season is going to be just a slow ramp up for me.
I think so. And like I said before, the first episode is always the weakest, and usually like around the second or third episode, they're usually stronger. So
Yeah,
I'm expecting them to be better and stronger. Because if they ain't, then we're in for a
we
rough
can
year.
we can rebuild them. We can make them stronger, faster.
Yes, exactly.
That's right. Now I'm reaching back to the 1970s for my cultural references.
That's
Highlander
right.
wasn't going back far enough.
That's right. Don't say that we don't know what the kids are into these days, folks.
Nope. Yeah. Hey, it's all TikTok and the $6 million man.
We got our fingers on the pulse.
Yep. Why is this
Yeah.
bigger?
So
Okay.
okay. Wait, what?
I was like, why isn't this podcast bigger again? Oh yeah, right. Yes. Okay.
We have our fans. We gotta
We have
do
our
it.
fans. We do
There
have
you
our
go.
fans.
We're
We have
niche.
we got some Twitter comments about
Yeah,
the premiere. Do we want to go into those?
we do. We
We
do.
do. Let's do that. Okay, we got John and I. He's got a two-part comment here. He's got
Ooh.
thoughts. He's got lots of thoughts. If you want to follow him, he's at Burtonesque92. He says, "I am an easy audience for self-effacing comedy, and easy is in uh, italics, which I didn't even know you could do on Twitter. So I'm impressed there. Already, I like this comment. I'm an easy audience for self-effacing comedy on SNL and in general, but although I had a handful of good laughs in it, I didn't find enough good or encouraging in this cold open to balance out the nudging critique that felt like it could have almost been fan written. Uh,
Mm.
the show was middling overall. The best live sketch to me was the one with Mikey and Miles as day trade stands with nothing at all close to game. Closing with something led by Heidi and Ego was a great call. Highlight of the ep was Miles and his sister's Spartan cheers.
Yeah, that was pretty charming. I dug it.
Hmm.
Um. Also, we got from of course, friend of the show, Manette Marati.
Mm-hmm.
Find her at Manette97. This was one of those S.
97.
What's up? Oh, Manette M97. Ooh, I
Yeah.
apologize. And she says this was one of those SNL premieres where they tried to play catch up with all the pop culture items that they missed out on during the summer. At times it worked, and at times it didn't.
I agree. I'm going to give that a like right now. Boop.
Hmm. Ooh,
Like.
nice. And yeah, and oh, we also got Lee Hot Lion. Boardman gets paid.
Yeah,
Uh,
Boardman gets paid. He replies to Manette, says, I think my biggest issue for this episode was after the episode aired, I literally did not remember any of it.
mm,
Uh, yeah, a very forgettable episode, I think.
yeah, and then he also tweets us saying, "Good evening from past my bedtime. The cold open gave me hope for the season till I saw Homie eating corn. Now I'm not sure what to think. Lost half of the crew, so everyone had a job. Shout out to Punky for making multiple appearances. Love the
Yay.
Billy Ocean sketch. Now back to bed."
Yay. Okay. Well, we're glad you had that late night insomnia.
Yes,
So a lot of
and
comments this week. Look at this. Look at this.
yeah, we're doing. See, we got fans. People
Yeah.
listen.
Well, let's hope it keeps up through the season. I hope this isn't just like the season premiere fascination. Now we got Mikey with two E's.
Hmm.
Says so glad to have SNL back. It's been a minute. Oh, here you're rubbing off on him.
Ooh.
Uh, decent start, which gave me hope for the rest of the season. And in parentheses, that they seem to already be apologizing for. Definitely got weaker in the back half of the show, and a couple of the sketches were just flat out bad. Charmin and McDonald's. He goes on. Miles did a good job with what he was given, but was definitely expecting more from the first episode of a new season. Surprised Weekend Update has kept the same formula also. Thought they'd have ripped off the Band-Aid fully this year being a rebuilding year. Hope next week is a step up. Yeah, I agree with you overall, Mikey. I would say that there were more than a couple sketches that were like flat out bad. I think overall the show was just kind of bad, which is
Mm,
disappointing to me. But I thought Miles, he was a decent host. He had a couple of impressions in his back pocket. He was a
yeah,
little stronger than I would have expected. He seemed
yeah,
to integrate well with the cast.
yeah. No, the Peyton Manning was good. I will give him
It was
that.
a good Peyton Manning, and I find Peyton Manning's voice really annoying, but he was a more palatable Peyton Manning to me.
Palatable Manning.
Palatable Manning. Yeah, we got
As
some more comments. I think these folks are new to me.
Yeah, this one, Max Meridius. He
Hmm.
says the musical performance was great, as it is expected from the great Kendrick Lamar. Oh, he sounds like a fan. But
Hmm.
I couldn't help but notice him being totally blown off by Miles Teller at the end of the show. Wonder what that was all about.
Oh, damn, son!
Oh shit!
I
Starting
tell it
beef,
Kendrick
kid.
Lamar out beef.
Oh,
Did he forget to thank him during Good Nights?
I
That's unusual.
I totally didn't notice that. I don't even know. I guess I don't know if he's trying to, start some beef or what. But like,
I
I don't
watched
know.
the show on YouTube, so I and they don't post the good nights, so I did not see them. So if anything
Mm,
heinous happened during the good nights,
shoot.
I missed it.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
I mean, I doubt there was any legit slight or anything. He probably just slipped his mind, or maybe they were really pressed for time. Was it a short good night? Was something
Um,
where they only had like 10, 20 seconds or something?
Yeah, no, he had 10 or 20 seconds. From
Okay.
from what I remember, like it kind of he was like saying some words like, "Oh, this is a dream come true for me," and there was definitely time, but I didn't notice him not doing that.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh,
figure
snap,
out
kid.
what's up with that. Okay, I'm gonna have
Yo,
to go on Peacock and look at the good nights
mhm.
and see what's up with this.
Ooh wee, what's up with that?
Yeah. We also have an R. Lopez who commented. They're at Renee Lopez says, with the exception of the medical open and Longfellow's update set, this entire episode could have happened last season. Is this really as much of a transition era as people thought it would be? Um,
Hmm.
yeah, but I don't know if it's gonna instantly be a new show. You know, I think it's always a gradual process, especially with. I mean, let's not forget that a lot of the old cast carried over as well. I mean, most everybody who's been there has been there for several years at this point.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's one of those things that's going to take a little bit longer for them to.
Yeah,
I know. I guess a lot of people expected that. Oh, this is a new year. They got new cast members, new logo, new fonts. So like
yeah,
everything is going to be new right out the gate. And I think this episode proved that that's not exactly true. Like it's going to be new, but it's going to take a
yeah.
while to get to for them to
It's
find their footing.
yeah, it's going to be new-ish. I mean, it's always Lauren seems to favor just sort of a steady transition with it, like a gradual thing, and a lot of the I don't want to say old cast or a lot of the established cast and the established writers are carrying over. So yeah, I think a lot of the show is going to feel the same, and it always takes a while for the new people to get kind of integrated and to establish themselves. I think the only one who really made a big impression in this episode was Longfellow. Um,
Right.
Molly popped up in a couple places.
Uh yeah, and then there was Hernandez,
Yeah,
Marcelo Hernandez, but he was in like the cold open and that was it.
yeah, yeah.
Oh no,
So
he was also in the B reel, but that was like for a split second.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's going to be a while before it feels like a new show, I think, and it's more something in retrospect. It's like when you watch like the 10 p.m. rerun from even like 5 or 10 years before, and you realize like how different the show was back then. You're like, oh yeah, the show really has changed. So yeah, give it some time. Give it some
Yeah,
time. I mean, I feel like yeah, I would like to see the show remake itself and rebrand itself a little bit more, but I don't think it ever instantly does that unless like you have a clean sweep with the cast. And the last time we really had a clean sweep with the cast was like '95, and even then
right.
a few people carried over like David Spade and Norm Macdonald
Yeah, no, absolutely.
and Tim Meadows. I think
Yeah,
that was everybody.
yeah. So overall, lackluster start to the season. Hope
Unfortunately, yes.
it gets better. I think it'll get better. Let's just keep on chugging and plugging along. Like I think
Fingers crossed.
it's right. Nowhere to go but up.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's our episode, guys. Thanks for listening as always. And yeah, hey, we should also mention who's going to be hosting next week, and maybe the week after that, because those things came out too, and we didn't even get a chance to
Who
mention
is
that.
going to be hosting next week? I remember who it was. I forget the order it was. I know we had a show where Megan the Stallion was hosting and musical guesting, but
Yeah,
that's the third week, right?
that is the third week. Next week we're getting. This was a shock to me. This one because I didn't see this coming. Brendan Gleeson with musical guest Willow.
Yeah, that's very out of left field.
Very much so, because I mean Brendan Gleeson, he's pretty much a character actor. He's been around for a while. He was in Braveheart. He was in Michael Clayton Michael Collins. I'm sorry.
Michael
Uh,
Collins, one of the
he was
Michael
it,
movies.
yeah,
He was
all the
in
Michael.
Michael, the movie where John Travolta played an angel.
He was Michael Knight in Knight Rider. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's the ticket. He in Bruges he was in. He was I think most younger people will know him as Mad Eye Moody from the Harry Potter films.
Yeah.
And most recently, he played our former president in that James Comey miniseries that was on Showtime uh,
Oh,
a year ago. So yeah, he's a bit of a character actor. I think the most recent thing is he has a movie out now with coming soon with Colin Farrell. It's something. It's very Irishy sounding title. I forget the name of it, but like yeah, all his movies kind of take place in Ireland.
mhm.
He's from Ireland. That
Ah,
seems to be
sorry,
his
TikTok.
big
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what he's coming out with. Yeah, it comes out of left field because he's not really a household name,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Maybe well,
Neither is Miles Teller, quite frankly. I mean,
yeah,
even he starred in a huge movie, Top Gun, Maverick, and Whiplash, which did very well. I feel like Miles Teller is getting his name out there, but I feel like he's not quite at the level that you'd expect an SNL host to be at.
that's true. Yeah, but I mean, if he's at that level, then Brendan Gleeson really
Yeah,
isn't that level because he's like I had to look him up. It's like who is he again?
yeah.
And
Let's see
yeah,
what happens, man.
oh yeah. So the movie he's coming out with us with Colin Farrell is called The Banshees of Inisherin.
That is a very Irish title. Yes.
Hey, hey, oh. Uh, but I don't know. I mean, he could surprise us. He could have a great sense of humor. Maybe he has a background in comedy. Like he could knock it out the park.
Yeah.
I'm willing to be open to this. This is a interesting choice to say the least. And
Yeah.
Willow, of course, Will Smith's kid as a musical guest. I know a lot of people really enjoy her music. I'm not super familiar with it, so like I'm willing to give it a listen and see how that pans out.
Think we'll get an Oscar slap joke?
You think they will? I mean, they did that. No, they did do that when she was on, like during that Gerard Carmichael show. They did that where Chris Red did the Will Smith slap
Yeah,
joke.
yeah. No, I was
Uh,
just wondering if they were going to do something else with it, since
I,
Willow's going to be there.
I don't think. I think it's kind of died down now. I think all
It
that
could be funny as a monologue bit or something.
maybe
I'm
maybe.
just thinking out loud here. I'm not
All
saying
right,
they should do that. I'm saying they could.
just spitballing.
Spitballing,
Mm.
just just
Yeah,
planting seeds. Some
I
of them
hear
bear fruit. Who knows?
Johnny Appleseed.
Yeah,
And yeah, so that's next week's episode, and then after that we got host and musical guest Megan the Stallion, which should be very interesting.
yeah.
I don't think she's done. I know she hadn't done too much acting. She was,
hmm
uh, I mean, I guess I don't know
She,
if it's a spoiler, but
she was She was in a sketch or two, and she was there before as a musical guest. So
oh yeah, that's true. She did an episode of a show P Valley, and but yeah, it seems like she's trying to sort of make the move into more, you know, acting roles and whatnot. So I don't know.
okay,
We'll see what she says. Like, I think people find her funny on TikTok, so that's something.
all right,
She has the qualifications.
okay.
Yeah. So those are our next 2 episodes, and so join us, folks. Let us know what you think.
Yes.
At yeah,
Let us know what you think at SNL Nerd Show. Which hosts and musical guests are you really looking forward to? Who do you want to see host a musical guest over the course of this season? Let us know at SNL Nerd Show. You can also follow us individually on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at Trumbull Comic. That's TRUMBULL and the word comic.
and I'm at Darren Credible, DARIN Credible on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And that's our episode, guys. Thanks for listening as always. As always, you can listen to the podcast at Non-Productive.com. We got the Patreon up there. Donate money to us, pretty please.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think we're just gonna wrap it up there, right?
I think we're gonna wrap it up there. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we've gone on for quite some time.
Holy!
We had a lot of thoughts. We had a lot of news to cover. So this was a supersized episode of the SNL Nerds Show. So thank you for listening. Thank you for making it to the end. We will be more succinct in the future.
Absolutely.
Like next week with Brendan Gleeson and Willow. But until then, nerds out.
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.